the agenda out of the way first, real quick. We're going to announce the whole Paleo Challenge winners and placers and just some general results with that. And after that, we're just going to open it up to kind of general after the fact post challenge Paleo questions, just in general, on things that we could go and do better going forward. Because I think that the trick is, thank you, a lot of people got awesome results, and the first step with any nutrition plan is going from food quality first, transitioning that over from crappy food to good food, eating the right stuff. And I think everybody kind of got used to that and got acclimated to it. I think 7 weeks was, might have felt like a long time kind of at the beginning to go and do it. For those of you that were able to go and stick through it to the end, I mean, it's it's pretty easy to go and follow. Your body starts to adapt to it. You start to get acclimated, and you see performance gains in here that you wouldn't otherwise. That being said, so the way that we ended up working the challenge was, first off, had it narrowed down to everybody that had had to go through everything. Everybody submitted their pre-challenge benchmarks and had to submit their post-challenge benchmarks and their before pictures and their after pictures. And from that group, what we did was just the No Excuses staff. We had myself, Ben, Laura, John, Jerome didn't get a chance to go vote on it, but Adrian did, and Patrick did too. And we had these votes, and I had everybody just go and pick their top 3 males and their top 3 females. And so in typical CrossFit competition standards, typically the way that this works is you've got the lowest score wins. So for instance, if you were given a second place vote by one of the trainers, then you'd go and accumulate 2 points for that, and that 2 points is working against you, so lowest score overall. So for the winners, like I said, all the trainers went and voted on here, and we had so we had it really came down to it was pretty clear running between about 5 men and about 4 women. Kind of came down to for consistent votes. And I will start with 3rd place first, which is going to receive the just a free complimentary hour-long personal training session. And you might laugh, say, well, you get personal training every day, but I mean, this is a time, right? You get one-on-one attention. You get somebody to go and coach you. If you want to go and work on your clean and jerk, you want to go and work on pull-ups, you want to go and work on nutrition, you want to work on jiu-jitsu, then we can do that. So 3rd place, and for the men, and he's not here, he had 18 cumulative points, was Brandon Baker. And just a real quick testimonial on Baker. Baker had a 200-pound increase in his CrossFit total. His deadlift, back squat, and shoulder press was 1,002 pounds when he finished the challenge. It was pretty impressive. So for the men, that was 3rd place. First and second came down to the wire. There was 1 vote separating 1st place and 2nd place. Winner ended up with 11 votes, and 2nd place ended up with 12 votes. The 2nd place winner ended up, and some of you guys have gone and trained in the evenings, have gone and trained with them before, but it was Lee. And he did phenomenal. He actually had 4 out of 6 trainers chose him as their number 1. And it was impressive. Didn't make it on 2 other lists. So, but using that same standards, then ended up losing to our 1st place finisher and our 2010 Paleo Challenge champion, Doc.
First quarter of 2010. That's right.
We're doing the benchmarks again in some morning. So.
I mean, if you guys saw Doc when he came into the gym at the beginning of this,
Round boy.
yeah, how many pounds would you say you lost overall? Like,
as of the doctor's office, Wednesday morning, 17 by their scale.
17 by their scale of net loss. So that's not including the strength gain that he's put on. He actually went up, I believe, was it over 200 pounds in your CrossFit? 170 pounds in his CrossFit total. He increased. He went from, in his Cindy, he went from 5 rounds to 9 rounds. Almost doubled his rounds of Cindy. And I think probably the most impressive of any feat before that I've seen. His first Jackie took him 27 minutes. Yeah.
And I threw up when I got home.
And he threw up after 27 minutes on his first Jackie, and ended up coming in with, I think it was it 12:36?
Nice.
12:36 on his Jackie 7 weeks later. So, cut his fitness in half there. I mean, or doubled it rather. Cut himself in half and doubled his fitness. But, really impressive job. And like I said too, I mean, it came down to everything. His performance, before and after pictures, the whole bit. So, he deserves it, man. He worked hard.
Nice.
Good job.
And honorable mentions too that didn't come on there. Steven was 1 vote behind Baker for 4th place, and Andre was right up there too. I mean, you were just a couple votes behind Steven there too to go and break into the top 3. I mean, and Andre he'd gone to the certification with us before in November and been doing paleo for a long time, but really tried to dial in during the challenge. And just by even going, strict with his quantities and stuff like that, instead of just focusing on the quality, I mean, really was able to go and see a lot of results. So it's one of these things where, like before we said, if you've gotten a little bit out of this, how much more mileage can we squeeze? If you're seeing results and how you're looking, feeling, performing, if these parameters are going up, then why are we going to go and change? So the next step is you've got the women, and this was brutally tough.
I wouldn't say how long you spent looking at those pictures.
Yeah.
Yes. I would say how long you
This was one of the toughest decisions that we've had to make with this. I mean, this was like the women. I think you probably agree. I mean, like the men, we saw a considerable improvement with everybody. The women, I could not believe what I saw in the changes across the board. It was really impressive.
I couldn't judge the pictures at all.
Yeah, it was just
too much. I did all performance. That's me anyway. About what you look like, about what you perform. So, but with the women, you couldn't look at the pictures and decide who did better than the other.
Yeah.
You just couldn't do it.
We had third place for the women with 16 votes was Shannon.
She took off.
And she was here earlier, but yeah, so she's got the personal training session.
Somehow got the winners to come.
I
She doesn't say she had family in town, so.
I think everybody's all paleo out after this. Second place, so winner of free month, and came in with 13 points was Kristen Gregory. And the overall winner with 9 cumulative points. I don't know how many. She wasn't not in anybody's top 3. Was most people's first or second pick. I mean, she had 9 points out of 6 trainers. Was Marie Diaz, overall winner.
She's shocked.
Yeah, I don't think you should be that surprised. It was impressive.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, let's just.